The Malay Peninsula and the Indonesian island of Sumatra are separated by the Strait of Malacca, a narrow body of water. Being the only critical gateway between the Pacific and Indian Oceans for centuries made it one of the most strategically and geopolitically significant areas on Earth. Thailand, which is close by, intends to build a route that would avoid it. However, what precisely will this bypass entail, and how will it affect the remainder of this crucial area? It might be really simple to see the geopolitical significance of this small body of water by glancing at a map of the area. In other words, this waterway is the quickest maritime route that any ship may take to enter or exit East Asia, an area that is home to some of the greatest economies in the world, including those of China, Japan, and South Korea. As a result, the Malacca Strait is one of the busiest waterways in the world, with over 90,000 vessels passing through it annually. Ships passing through this region carry a staggering 30% of all products exchanged worldwide, with an annual total value of between $3 and $4 trillion. Even more bizarre is the fact that this region is home to 9 of the 10 busiest maritime ports in the Indo-Pacific. Simply put, this narrow stretch of water holds immense value not just to the countries in the surrounding area, but also to the rest of the world. That's why even the United States, which is more than 14,000 kilometers away, still maintains a semi-permanent military presence around the area in countries like Malaysia, Singapore, and the Philippines. They also regularly engage in military drills with Thailand, Indonesia, Brunei, and those same nations. It serves their best interests to keep this region stable and ensure that other powers won't seize control of the area. However, it also makes logical that China, the second biggest economy in the world, would wish to make a mark in this hotly contested region of the globe. China has made great efforts to safeguard its interests in the area by claiming numerous islands and developing a military presence in the adjacent South China Sea, as more than two-thirds of their total maritime trade volume travels via Malacca. They've even begun creating artificial islands in the area where they construct various military installations. But because of this huge strategic and geopolitical importance, the Strait of Malacca is also a single point of failure in the global supply chain, with more than 90,000 vessels passing through it each year. This tiny corridor may occasionally get quite crowded, which raises the possibility of maritime collisions and makes it dangerous for any ship passing through to navigate. As seen by the Suez Canal blockade that lasted for a whole week back in 2021, a single catastrophe can easily cause havoc with the global supply chain. Who knows how severe the consequences may have been if it had occurred in the Malacca Strait. As a result, Thailand has been preparing to establish a brand new trade route that would entirely avoid the Strait of Malacca. This is the KRI Isthmus, a slender landmass that links the Asian mainland to the Malay Peninsula. At its narrowest, this landform spans just 40 kilometers between the southern Thai province of Chumphon and the Krawburi district, with the Gulf of Thailand and the Andaman Sea only a few kilometers apart on the east. This area practically seems to cry for a canal to be dug across it to the west, and Thailand has considered doing just that several times over the years. During Thai King Narai's reign in the 17th century, the earliest known proposal was made. However, the project never actually developed past the conceptual level because of the absence of contemporary engineering capabilities at the time. French and British engineers made numerous other suggestions between the 17th and the 1800s, but once more, none of them came to pass. Thailand and the British Empire had an agreement in place by 1897 that prohibited them from constructing a canal over the KRI Isthmus without British consent. This action was taken to preserve Singapore's standing as a significant trading hub under British Empire rule in the region. Up until Singapore's independence in 1965, the British would obstinately resist any progress towards a canal in Thailand, marking the end of their control and interest in the surrounding area. Over the ensuing few decades, Thailand would continue to examine many canal plans across the KRI Isthmus. But in 2005, China, an emerging global powerhouse, made a single proposal that appeared to have the best chance of becoming a reality. China showed interest in providing finance for the construction and management of the canal, should it ever become operational. In 2015, a memorandum of understanding was signed by both countries to commence construction of the long-planned mega-project, putting this concept into writing. While other routes have been offered for the Thai Canal, the most researched and recommended one would run 128 kilometers from the province of Krabi by the Andaman Sea to Songkhla by the Gulf of Thailand. Built entirely at sea level, the canal would be 400 meters wide and 25 meters deep. As a result, the Thai Canal would not require the complex lock system that the Panama Canal does. This project might take up to 10 years to finish and cost as much as 28 billion USD, according to estimates. The most evident advantage of constructing this canal would be to reduce the transit time and distance required for ships to move between the Andaman Sea and the South China Sea. Based on approximations, this shortcut might save up to 3 days of sailing and minimize the distance traveled by at least 1,200 kilometers. If a reasonably large oil tanker were to use this hypothetically shorter route, for example, they could save up to $350,000 every trip. If the canal were ever to be finished, Thailand would also profit from the possibility of becoming a global hub for shipping and logistics, similar to Singapore, their neighbor. By bringing jobs and economic possibilities to the entire region, the initiative would also aid in the revitalization of the country's more rural and relatively impoverished southern regions. China, which has personally offered to assist in building the canal, will gain directly from its development as well. They would have a different path for their imports and exports to completely avoid the Malacca Strait, which is nearly entirely surrounded by the United States and its allies in Southeast Asia, after the Thai Canal is built. But like any other massive project of this kind, building the Thai Canal would not be without its share of drawbacks, even with all these clear advantages. There will undoubtedly be significant consequences to society and the environment. This building of the canal is expected to directly displace 60,000 people, and that number only includes those who reside closest to the canal's projected route. There will probably be tens of thousands more people, including farmers and local fishers, whose livelihoods may be impacted by the canal's construction. Additionally, the project would wipe off vast amounts of the local marine life and plants near the shores. The fact that this project will essentially split the nation in half is another significant argument against it. Physically dividing Thailand's greatest impoverished Malay-majority southern provinces from the rest of the nation and possibly fostering the growth of separatist movements in the area, which have been active since the 1940s. Additionally, Thailand would immediately compete with its neighbors Malaysia and Singapore for the marine traffic that travels through the Strait of Malacca if a canal were to be built across the KRA Isthmus. Both nations profit from the volume of traffic that passes through their respective ports, even though there are no transit fees for ships to cross the strait. Even though these nations are all allies in Asia, they may not get along well enough to allow such a canal to occur. By enabling Chinese vessels to freely navigate between the South China Sea and the Andaman Sea and the Indian Ocean, the construction of the Thai Canal may also infuriate the United States and India. This would place Thailand in a precarious position within an already complex geopolitical region of the world. Over time, enthusiasm for building the Thai Canal has gradually declined as a result of all these drawbacks. Even China, which was the one who first proposed funding, building, and project management, has now discovered a different way to solve the Malacca Strait issue. With the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, China now has a detour for its Middle Eastern oil and gas imports. The Thai Canal project was still awaiting a study, and there were still other issues in the area that needed to be given priority, according to Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha, who even told the public in February 2018 that the project was not a government priority. After months of feasibility studies, the Thai government officially decided in September 2020 that the projected KRA Canal, which would have been funded and built by China, would not proceed. Their analysis revealed that the project would simply be a liability and be too expensive for the Thai government. Furthermore, the construction's possible hazards would have outweighed any potential advantages by a wide margin. Thailand is still optimistic that they will be able to bridge the gap between the Andaman Sea and the Gulf of Thailand, even though the canal project appears to be coming to a standstill once more. To this goal, they are constructing a massive project that is comparable in magnitude to the Thai Canal itself. The land bridge proposal would link Thailand's east and west coasts by means of a number of infrastructure improvements that would improve communication between either side of the Kare Isthmus, as opposed to building a canal that would physically split the nation in two. Two new deep-water ports in Renam and Chumphon, which would both function as important entry points for foreign ships on their respective sides of the Kare Isthmus, would be the project's main output. A 90-kilometer stretch of highways, trains, and pipelines will subsequently connect these two ports, providing a quick and effective means of moving cargo between the two locations. It's interesting to note that the total estimated cost of this idea is up to $28 billion. If this sounds familiar, it's because the land bridge project is intended to replace the Thai Canal, which has been abandoned. Furthermore, it's predicted that the total construction project will generate up to 280,000 jobs in the provinces of Chumphon and Renam alone. The land bridge was approved by the Thai Parliament in February 2024 following a careful consideration process that aimed to cast doubt on the project's viability. Based on the research, the project is expected to draw substantial investments to the area and establish a crucial logistics network for the southern provinces of the nation, enabling them to export agricultural products to major trading partners like China and the European Union. Additionally useful for facilitating trade between Thailand and its neighbors, including Cambodia, Myanmar, Laos, and Vietnam, is the land bridge. In an effort to draw possible investors for the project, the Thai government has held several presentations and roadshows since March 2024. The Thai government is allegedly in talks with several Chinese and Japanese businessmen about how to proceed with financing the land bridge project, as they have already expressed interest in the project. Currently, it is anticipated that official bids for the project's establishment will start at some point in 2026, with real construction likely to start later that same year. By 2030, the land bridge should be substantially operational, and by 2039, it should be finished. What are your thoughts about the land bridge project? Would it go to completion or end as a dead dream like the Thai Canal project? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.